What is up everyone, welcome back to another top 10 list where this time we're going to be breaking down the best moments throughout all of Stage 3. It was a stage full of glorious highs and grueling lows as certain teams rose to the occasion whilst others failed to find their footing. The Boston Uprising etched their place in the history books as they became the first team to secure a flawless 10-0 stage, taking out the likes of NYXL, London Spitfire, and Seoul Dynasty within the span of just a single week. Ultimately though, it was NYXL who were crowned champions once again as they continue to exaggerate their already staggering lead. Plenty of wild moments punctuated the exciting period of competition, so before the fourth and final stage gets underway, let's take the time now to dive back into the top moments of Stage 3. To kick things off, we have the first play in the list from the stage champions NYXL as Mano's heroics helped keep his teammate in the fight. Down 2 maps in their series against the LA Gladiators, things were looking a little dire for the New York team until the all-star roster began to turn things around here on Ilios. A monumental play from this series came as Hydration activated his Dragon Blade and cut through Pine. Setting his sights on Jonak next, Hydration is quickly swatted out of range thanks to the selfless acts of Mano. Rapidly diving towards the Genji in motion, Mano miraculously manages to make the connection and save the lonesome Jonak from an untimely demise. This is a perfect example of how reaction times and technical capabilities can help swing a teamfight. In at number 9 we have back-to-back plays from NYXL coming out as this time Saebyeolbe is in focus thanks to his sensational pulse bomb back in the first week of Stage 3. With plenty of time left on the clock and only a single tick needed for New York to take the first map in their heated battle against the London Spitfire, we see patience employed as NYXL take the time to set up and ease into their next engagement. Approaching from overhead, Saebyeolbe capitalizes on a brief moment in time where Fury is out of mech in order to ensure that his pulse bomb doesn't disappear in a defense matrix. Thanks to his exceptional timing and positioning, Saebyeolbe finds the stick and the 3k for his efforts. One of the most effective pulse bombs all stage as New York went on to handily sweep the series.
While he was channeling both, even a huge stick from Saebyeolbe takes down 3, he just cracked the point!
Coming in at number 8 we have the most devastating Riptire throughout all of Stage 3 and who else but Jake would be the one to pull it off. As New York hurried their way to the objective on the first phase of Nepal, they worked around Libero on the Bastion as 3 beefy tanks aligned to soak up any incoming damage. Taking matters into his own hands though, Jake activates his Riptire from above the point and drops down to find a swift 4k which in turn enables Lynx's Deadeye and entirely nullifies the opposing composition.
Libero, it'll be a sound barrier used by Animo. It's gonna be a Riptire here from Jake. Oh, a big tire there from Jake. There's nothing you could do about that, I mean.
Coming in at number 7, we have one of the more unique moments from the inaugural season as a whole as Jonak comes in clutch throughout the playoff finals. As Boston patiently approach point B in their second attacking phase on Volskaya, Mistakes charges up his ultimate and activates it soon after demeching the opposition. Jonak responds by activating his Transcendence and motioning between Mistakes and Arc in order to save his teammate who had only just popped Valkyrie moments ago. It was a pivotal teamfight and an extraordinary moment as Jonak body blocks a lethal ultimate to save his teammate in flight. In at number 6 we have Hagopen of the London Spitfire demonstrating the versatility of Zenyatta. From the previous heroic play where we saw how Zen can help save teammates, to this play in focus as we see how Zen can also obliterate an entire enemy team in a matter of moments. Before the Observer team could even react to the absurd situation, Hagopen managed to accrue 5 kills without even so much as needing to restore his 20 orbs.
It's just relentless at Hagopen! What was that?
He positioned himself in such a way as to continuously send out shot after shot without missing a beat. He opens with a kill onto Gamsu, swiftly demechs Note before taking out the Baby Diva, a stunned striker, as well as Mistakes in the background. A truly ridiculous play as it's not every day we see a 5k coming out from a support main. In the 5th spot, whilst it wasn't necessarily the most explosive Diva bomb of the stage, it certainly was the most impactful. It was Nevix of the San Francisco Shock who acquired the most kills with a single ultimate all throughout Stage 3, that was successful as that play really was, it came against a deeply demoralized Dallas Fuel in a series that was all but over. This monstrous Diva bomb on the other hand from Note deserves the highlight over all else as it came from a marquee matchup between the 1st and 3rd playoff seeds in the Boston Uprising and LA Valiant respectively. It was certainly a tightly contested series and the battle on Blizzard World was no outlier. With two members of the LA team currently in the midst of their ultimates, Note throws caution to the wind as he propels his Diva Bomb forward and walks away with 4 easy kills followed by a 5th elimination to clean up the objective shortly thereafter. The timing and positioning on this ultimate could not have been better as Note created ample space for his team to advance the payload through the entirety of Blizzard World at an astonishing pace. In at number 4, we move to a play where the LA Valiant are the ones in full control instead. In their first week of competition, the LA team went toe-to-toe with the Seoul Dynasty and actually full-held the Korean roster on Temple of Anubis. That effort was in large part thanks to Agility's stepping up big time after a tumultuous period where fans weren't all too sure of his future as a starting DPS player. Storming point A, Agilities begins the wild highlight with a picture-perfect Dragonblade onto an unsuspecting Seoul Dynasty. Finding numerous picks with his first ultimate, Agilities accrues a kill streak of 10 in just under 100 seconds, without a doubt one of the fastest streaks in the history of competitive Overwatch. The eliminations continue to stack up as the Valiant rush onto point B. Most notably though, Agilities takes down both supports at a crucial juncture in the fight, and then went on to dispatch Zephyr as well as he now bumps the kill streak up to 15 and ensures that his team completes their attacking phase with well over 5 minutes remaining in the time bank.
All but wrapped up, that will be it, and a quick attack round, 5 minutes and 17 seconds on the clock yet for the Valiant.
Coming in at number 3, we have Saya Player making a name for himself as he stuns the hometown crowd. Activating his Infrasight, the latest signee of the Florida Mayhem cements his name in the conversation for most accurate Widowmaker as he takes down 4 members of the LA Valiant with only 6 bullets fired.
Angle. Oh my god! Oh, there we go, Saya! Triple kill from him! The huge plays! Just tombing him! Get out, Valiant!
More than anything, this play is a testament to what countless hours of determination can produce. The effort of one flanking player was enough to entirely destabilize the hometown team and create ample space for the rest of Mayhem to advance the payload. Absolutely sensational play from a star in the making. Coming in at number 2, we have the clear-cut MVP of the stage finals putting on a show as he leads his team to an emphatic victory over the Boston Uprising. In a tense rematch against the only team to trump the New York roster throughout all of Stage 3, the Boston Uprising performed admirably but ultimately fell short this time around to the most dominant team in the league. Starting out the sensational effort on Volskaya, Saebyeolbe single-handedly crushes the backline of the Uprising as he takes down both Neko and Kelix despite Note doing all he can to thwart the offense. Without a moment's hesitation, Saebyeolbe then goes on to eliminate Mistakes, destroy the Diva mech before one-clipping Baby Diva and eventually meleeing Gamsu into the ground and capturing point A. There are not enough superlatives to adequately explain how impressive NYXL can be when they truly focus up on a series and display their best efforts. Whilst they may be able to cruise throughout the remainder of the season having already qualified for the overall playoffs, they certainly held nothing back when handing Boston their only loss in all of Stage 3. And finally, to close out another incredible period of competition, the top spot simply couldn't go to anything other than Boston's unparalleled efforts when toppling the London Spitfire in one of the closest matches all stage. After having toppled New York in the second week of Stage 3, the very first match with Mistakes in the starting DPS role, Boston had a week from hell at the midway point in the stage as they squared off against both London and Seoul just one day apart. The odds were seemingly insurmountable, yet the Boston squad trumped all expectations and came away with an unblemished win record, the first team to remain flawless throughout an entire stage. It's one thing to overcome adversity and tally 3 wins in your favour, but it was the way in which Boston emerged victorious against the London Spitfire that truly speaks volumes to how much the team had to endure throughout this stage. Opening the final phase of Oasis, the tiebreaker match of the series, London went up 99-0 as the Uprising only narrowly scrambled to regain control. After a few failed pushes, the final teamfight is what will go down as one of the greatest moments of the inaugural season as Striker and Mistakes cling to an inkling of hope to keep the point alive. 4 members of the Boston team are wiped out as London shift the momentum in their favour and seem to have the win in the bag. Mistake sneaks around and stalls the point out just long enough for Striker to dash back into the fray and remain alive until reinforcements make their way to the point. Before long, what began as a 2 vs 6 scenario shortly turns back into an evenly balanced teamfight as all of Boston make their way back to the point and find kill after kill to turn things around from the very brink of a crushing defeat. The elation that overcomes each member of the roster truly says it all. From being ranked as one of the weakest rosters upon entering the Overwatch League, to losing their original DPS starter just days into the 3rd stage, to turning things around and prevailing undefeated against the most dominant teams in the league, it's a remarkable underdog story that absolutely shined brighter than anything else throughout all of Stage 3. So that's it for this week's video. Only one stage remains before we get into playoff territory. Let me know in the comments down below which teams you think we'll see vying for that top spot come July. But as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.